Skylanders made $500 million in 1 year on its first game. It seemed like it had everything made, but it got discontinued back in 2022, and in 2024, years later, no one talks about it. Why? I've narrowed it down to about 4 different reasons. Now, these aren't the whole story, but it is the biggest factors that caused Skylanders to fail. If you don't know what Skylanders is, I'll give you a really quick rundown. Skylanders is a children's Toys to Life adventure game. Toys to Life is a type of game where to play a character, you have to have a physical copy of them in the real world. Put them onto a portal of some kind, and it'll show up in-game. Now, the first Skylanders game came out in 2011, and it originally started out as just a reboot for an old gaming character, Spyro. The company in charge of this project was called Toys for Bob. Toys for Bob came up with this crazy idea. What if toys came to life in video games? They called it Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, and with that, they created an epic gaming series. There were 6 mainline games, with each having its own gimmick. I'll explain those in my Skylanders lore video. If you feel like every single game that was cancelled had to do with money, you would be correct, and Skylanders was no exception to this. The cost to make Skylanders was ginormous, and on top of that, the process to make one Skylander was super long. First, they had to come up with the idea for the character and design what it would look like. While they're designing the look of the character, they have to figure out the abilities for that Skylander. Once they feel good about the looks and abilities, then they have to make the abilities in-game to see if they even work. Once they work out all the kinks, then they have to make the character model and the animations for the character in-game. While this is happening, they have to design the physical Skylander, and at any point the Skylander could get scrapped and everything they worked for was for nothing. Now, everything up to this point has been expensive, but this is the most expensive part. They had to make thousands of the same Skylander every single day to be sold all over the world. Now, this wouldn't be a problem if the money was just pouring in, right? Well, people eventually stopped caring about Skylanders. Why was that? Well, after Skylanders game was released, that was it for a while. So yeah, everything I say here doesn't make any sense. So what should be here is the complete opposite. They had so much content over such a short period of time. They had, fun fact, 1 game release every single year non-stop. They were pumping out games so quick, dog, it's insane. And if you know anything about game design, 1 year is not a substantial time to make a functioning game. And they did make a functioning game. But to do this, they had to outsource a lot of work. So Skylanders Superchargers, I'm pretty sure was made by a different company than the other games. So I'm just putting this in to completely correct myself because I didn't do the right research. So just from now on, from this point forward, I promise I'll do better research in my videos. Everything I said just doesn't make sense here. So, alright. Usually the game got released with the DLC available for you to buy, so there really wasn't anything to look forward to after the release. Skylanders would drop with about 18 Skylanders after about 2 years, and then go back into the game development cave for another 2 years and do the whole cycle over again. Eventually, people stopped caring about Skylanders, and can you blame them? They got such little content over such long periods of time. But people also didn't want to buy Skylanders because... Look at this image. Does this look like something that you would think is trendy now? Probably not. Why is that? Because people's tastes change. Skylanders was not known for its amazing gameplay. It was known for the Toys to Life idea. It was revolutionary at the time. But as the magic faded, in the great words of a modern-day prophet, Luke Combs, the new wears off and they get to getting old. Skylanders slowly turned into a thing of the past because they didn't want to grow with the times. Pop quiz. Can you think what's the complete opposite of Toys to Life? In-game purchases. An in-game purchase is where you buy something directly from the game and you have it immediately after you pay for it. Let's say there's a new character you really want in a video game and the game has in-game purchases. Well, you can just go straight into the in-game shop and buy it, and Bob's your uncle, you have the character. There's no bouncing around from store to store, no digging through a bin, you can just start playing. This became huge and suddenly everyone was doing it, except for Skylanders. Eventually, people just lost interest in buying Skylanders because it was too difficult. Why not just play a game where you could just buy everything in an instant? Hey, thank you so much for watching. My guess is that you like learning about video games that died off. Now, the game that I talk about in this video isn't dead, but it's starting to feel boring. So go ahead and check out my Why is Minecraft Feeling Stale video. Maybe even sub if you want.